Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Jai Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. All right. Yeah. We are studying here how Shukadeva Goswami is explaining that what to do if there are material desires in the heart and how to invoke attraction in our heart, the place where Paramatma is situated. So Paramatma realized yogi does not need to worry about time and place of death. In this context, it applies that a devotee who knows Krishna is in your heart, we don't have to worry about what is happening in our life, when it will happen, how it will happen. That's none of our business because Krishna is seated in our heart. And when we let him take control, things will be exactly the way he wants. So that's why we pray, Krishna, may your will and not mine be done. That is the yogi who has Paramatma realized that Krishna is in my heart. So may his will prevail. Why do I get in the way and self will, why do I let self will take control? Okay. Anybody likes to volunteer to read? Kindly unmute yourself and read.
Sukadeva described how the yogi should prepare for returning to the spiritual world. To fully concentrate upon Vishnu, the yogi must merge his mind into the self and then, by means of pure intelligence, merge the self into the supersoul. By so doing, he will experience full satisfaction and bliss, thus being purified of even the potential for material hankering. Parikshit was perplexed. Merging the mind into the self by pure intelligence and the self into the supersoul? What did it mean? Noting his bewilderment, Sukadeva explained, the tendency of the mind is to accept and reject activities based on sense gratification. However, the self is Krishna's eternal servant. Thus, merging the mind into the self means training the mind to accept and reject everything according to the Lord's instructions. To merge. Next, please.
Oh my God, isn't that mind-blowing?
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Taruni, can you please read this again?
Yeah, I loved it too. The tendency of the mind is to accept and reject activities based on sense gratification. However, the self is Krishna's eternal servant. Thus, merging the mind into the self means training the mind to accept and reject everything according to the Lord's instructions.
I mean, that's a kind of new definition about merging the mind into the self means training the mind to accept and reject everything according to the Lord's instruction. Isn't it? I mean, it's kind of like, wow, what a concept.
I've also never ever, what do you say, came across this kind of a definition. Yes, it's really true.
How about Anukulena Krishnanushilana? Doesn't that fit in here?
Yes.
It's true, but then the way he's worded it is so different.
Yeah. Especially accept and reject everything. That part, yes, Anukulena Krishnanu, right? According to the Lord's instruction, that's like, wow. Because the point is, Anukulena Krishnanu, the tendency of the mind is to think that what I feel good is beneficial. What I feel bad is not beneficial. It's to think like that.
No, it says Krishnanushilanam.
Yeah. I'm just
Whatever
saying.
is favorable to Krishna, right?
Yeah.
Which
I'm just
includes
saying.
scriptures, everything.
Yeah, but I'm
Which
just
means
saying
scripture.
the mind tends to determine and judge what is favorable and not favorable. That's what he's saying here.
Right.
Although,
Even there we can do. There is
yeah.
possibility that even there we can
Mm.
judge. This is we can. I mean, according to my mind sense codification, I may decide like, okay, this is more favorable to Krishna. Yeah, I agree. Thank you.
I mean, oh my God, my mind is like that. I don't know yours. My mind is very tricky to fit in sense gratification in Krishna consciousness. I mean, I'll give you an example. There's a client that came to me very, very strict about rules, this, that. And then she just sat there with her husband and she said, can you look at my chart and tell me when I will get another husband? I was just like, what? It's like, what? And then she had her own idea. This marriage is not very beneficial for me because he's not very Krishna conscious. So I want somebody who's a little bit more Krishna conscious. And this just happened like one day before. Okay. So I'm just saying that the mind can be very tricky in telling us accepting and rejecting activities as Krishna conscious or not Krishna conscious. Similarly, we could think, look, it's favorable for me if I marry soon. We may think it's favorable for me if I divorce soon. It's favorable for me if I have money. It's favorable for me. I'm seeing this more and more and more. And when I see other people's minds, I'm actually becoming more aware of my mind, how my mind also thinks in this way. It's favorable for me to not talk to this person. They're correcting me too much. Or it's like that. Okay. Yeah. Beautiful point. I mean, like, this is like so amazing. I want to tattoo this. Merging the mind into the self means training the mind to accept and reject everything according to the Lord's instruction. Sometimes it means complete helplessness. Krishna, I have no idea how I'm going to face this problem. Please take care of it. And I want your will to prevail, not mine. And then relax. Krishna's will, Krishna's will, Krishna's will. And we don't know sometimes what is Krishna's will. And that may be Krishna's will that we don't know exactly. And we just wait there. Please continue, Taruni, to merge the self.
To merge the self into the supersoul means to be immersed in Krishna's loving service. To merge the self into the supersoul means to be immersed in Krishna's loving service. How is this merging into him? Asked Parikshit. Because the Lord and his service are on the absolute plane, said Sukadeva. They are identical. So this point is also very nice, right? One is you're training the mind to follow Krishna's instruction. And then after that, you're using all your senses, the entire body itself, you're serving Krishna. That means basically you're doing devotional service. So by doing devotional service, we are merging ourselves into the super soul. Because the Lord and his service are on the absolute plane, said Sukadeva. They are identical. Sukadeva continued to explain how one can achieve liberation. In the material world, even Brahma and all the gods are subject to devastating time. This is because they are trapped by false ego and three modes of nature. However, a devotee who experiences love of Krishna attains a spiritual body free of these influences. Master, what are the characteristics of such a devotee? Asked Parikshit. The pure devotees see all things connected to Vishnu. They avoid atheistic speculation and live in.
Just a second. This point here, Nama and Nami, I remember this point here. Just as the holy name and Krishna are identical, Nama and Nami, the name and the one who is of the name, it's the same. It's the same. When we say Krishna, it's Krishna is there, he's present. So similarly, devotional service and the Lord are also is the same absolute plane. So they are identical. This is very important to remember. And so when Krishna is invoked in our heart, we have nothing to fear. Nothing, literally. And when we're doing devotional service, we should do it without any fear or any other obstacles, because it's Krishna. Krishna is with us. Sometimes we think, I want somebody to come with me to go somewhere. I've learned this, that Krishna is with me. I know I'm not alone. I'm not alone. This is a powerful, powerful meditation. Krishna is with me. It's like, wow, Krishna is with you. It's like Arjuna. Krishna was with Arjuna. Krishna is with you. Krishna is with us. Okay, I want you all to say this out loud. You can unmute or mute yourself, but say this out loud. Krishna is with me. Krishna
Krishna
is
is
always
with
with me. Yeah, he is.
me.
And then please say, I am Krishna's.
I am Krishna.
Krishna's. I am Krishna's. I am Krishna's. Okay, please continue.
Harmony with the Lord's will. They do not propagate false teachings or exploit anything or anyone. Thus, they do not create problems for themselves or others. Rather, they engage everything in Krishna's service, worshipping him at every moment with all their hearts.
So
How
beautiful.
do?
Engage
Yeah.
everything in Krishna's service, worshipping him at every moment with all their hearts. All their hearts. I remember this prayer, Krishna, I offer myself fully, the good and the bad. No, please take me as I am, the full good and the bad, which means every moment with all our hearts. We're not keeping anything. Please continue.
How do such elevated yogis leave their bodies? Once they achieve the Brahman realization and are thus freed of material desire, they bring the life air up through the bodily chakras by the power of mystic meditation. Sukadeva gave a detailed description of how the yogis block the different bodily orifices and then, by intelligence, gradually search out the different chakras to raise the life air. He concluded his description. Finally, the meditative yogi forces the life air out through the crown of the head, known as the Brahmarantra. He then raises to the spiritual kingdom. Do all yogis reach the spiritual world? No. Those who have only mastered Virat Rupa meditation are still attracted by the wonders of the higher planets. Therefore, they do not go, they go there and enjoy the 8 mystic powers. Nevertheless, they are not like ordinary conditioned souls. Because of their many years of austerity and worship of the Lord, they acquire subtle bodies able to travel anywhere within or even outside of the material universe. Do they ever attain the Lord's abode? After experiencing the pleasures of the higher planets, they eventually go there. Sukadeva explained that these yogis travel via the Milky Way to the planet of Vaishvanara, where they are purified by the fire god. From there, they go to the Shishumara constellation, where Shirodakshani Vishnu resides. This is the pivot of the material universe, sometimes said to be Garbhodakshayi Vishnu's navel. In that constellation, the yogi first goes to Maharloka, where Bhrigu Muni resides. He lives there for one of Brahma's days, or 4300 billion solar years. At the end of this day, when there is a total devastation of the universe, he travels with the other purified souls in special airplanes to Brahma's own planet, Satyaloka. There he lives for over 15 trillion solar years. Eventually, even Brahma's planet is destroyed. However, in Satyaloka, there is no lamentation, old age, bewilderment, suffering, or fear. Sometimes, however, the residents experience mental suffering because of the compassion they feel for the conditioned souls who suffer unsurpassable miseries due to spiritual ignorance.
Due to
Sukadeva.
what? Can you read that again? Due to what?
They feel so much because of their compassion that they feel for conditioned souls who suffer unsurpassable miseries due to spiritual ignorance. Like all pain is because of ignorance. Our
Every,
original thing is like forgetting our relationship with Krishna, basically.
it's in the mind. It's in the mind. You
Mm.
actually have no problem. The spiritual
Mm.
ignorance creates certain thoughts which don't exist in the mind. And because of that, we suffer. And what is the light? What is the cure for this ignorance? Ignorance means darkness. So Srimad
Right.
Bhagavatam dissipates that darkness. This is the light that dissipates that darkness. And living our life according to the principles of Srimad Bhagavatam, understanding Bhagavatam as the way to please the Lord, understanding Bhagavatam as the will of the Lord, understanding how to let the will of the Lord come through. That's the cure for the spiritual ignorance, because ignorance is the cause of misery.
Mm. I love the way you said that ignorance means darkness, and Srimad Bhagavatam is a light that has been thrown in this dark age. Like how you connected that with, the light of Bhagavatam. Like, wow, beautiful. Thank you very much for that.
Otherwise, how we will understand that
Yeah.
we are conditioned souls who are experiencing unsurpassable misery. And when you read Srimad Bhagavatam, we will understand the Prayen Alpayusha Sabhya, how we are all short-lived and still we are worrying about things as if we're going to live forever, worrying about very, very flimsy things, very, very trivial things, as you say, Taruni, all these trivial things without understanding what is what. Bhagavatam gives us the ability to distinguish reality from illusion. And that ability to atra vastu shivadam, to be able to discriminate reality from illusion, dissipates that ignorance. We're not anymore thinking, oh, why this happened? Why they said it this way? Why this person left me? Why this is happening? And then we get stuck, that spiritual ignorance. But instead we say, wow, Krishna has got a plan even in this miserable misery I'm experiencing. Okay, I'm going ahead, moving on, looking ahead, not looking behind, not looking down, not feeling bad, not feeling regret, not feeling resentment. That's spiritual ignorance. To live in spiritual ignorance means we are living in guilt and shame and anger and resentment and fear and selfishness. And spiritual progress means, Krishna, your will be done. And moving on with joy, with compassion, with tolerance, and all the qualities of the devotee. One pointed focus. That's what Bhagavatam gives us, ability to distinguish reality from illusion. Please
I was
continue.
thinking, as you were explaining, I was thinking, like how the mind has this ability, mind's role is to accept and reject. Basically, and you also, the starting point we were saying, like the misery is because of the mind. The mind is causing all these unforetold miseries for us, right? So I was thinking, because this mind is accepting this body to be the self, that's why all the problems, it's like the generation of it's like the seed of everything is because we're identifying ourselves with this body, right? The false ego is like identifying, right? So when that happens, then immediately everything is coming. So to just get out of that, the first thing, the first step is to like, no, I did not identify ourselves with this body. But that is like from time memorial, like how Prabhupada says, we're just identifying ourselves with this body. So it's so hard. The mind is accepting this body to be self. So that's the root cause. I mean, that's one of the root cause for so many other, unsurpassable miseries that the mind is causing. Would like to say something more, Mataji, about it?
Absolutely. What you said, the bodily concept of life, as Prabhupada often says in his lectures, this bodily concept of life. So bodily identification, which causes us to think that I am the mind also and the thoughts also. And, I have this experience. Sometimes I get obsessed with some thought. It becomes me. It's like everything else fades away. It's like this particular thought becomes like front and center. And I start to believe, like, it's like I get completely illusioned by that obsession. And it takes me quite some time to figure out that I'm not those thoughts and I'm not that mind. I'm not those feelings either. And to detach and look at ourselves objectively, right? And say, hey, wait a minute. I'm not my mind. So why am I giving so much importance to it? I think as devotees, I'm not the body, especially when the body is not suffering. I'm not the body is a little bit easier to accept than I'm not the mind. Because in our mind, we are so identified with our wants and needs and desires. And at least I find it extremely difficult to separate myself from the mind, especially the tamasic aspects, like I'm not good enough and I'm not smart enough and whatever. All those things is the bodily concept of life. Some people, Kante Prabhu has that realization, he doesn't give power to things where how people make you feel, how people make him feel, how people treat him. He just is like, okay, that's that. And then he's like, it must have been my karma in my previous life. I must have treated somebody badly, so I'm experiencing this. And he just moves on, forgives very easily, wishes well for people, moves on. So this ability to separate ourselves from that bodily concept of life, bodily concept of identification. Yesterday I was put in a situation. I went to give class. I sat there on the Vyasasana. I look at the board and I'm like, but that's not the verse I was given to prepare. What am I going to do now? And the purport was also very small, and we had translation, fortunately, in the class. So as the Mataji read the verse, the translation, and the purport, I literally had 1 minute to think there, what am I going to say for next 1 hour? And I just took 2 Sanskrit words from the verse and I started speaking. And one was bhavan and one was like bhava. Bhavan means the house, because it was about Akrura, Krishna going to Akrura's house, like that. And the other one was about Krishna wanting to please Akrura. And then I stuck to the point of bhava, the mood, the mood of a devotee. So we are bhavatmakas, we are not kriyatmakas. In Krishna consciousness, it's about the bhava. It's about, because Krishna is bhavagrahi janardana. It's not exactly the sweet rice that Krishna actually eats. It's actually the mood that he wants. ಕ್ಷೀರಾಬ್ಧಿ ಶಯನ ಹರಿಯೇ ನಿನಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಯಿತೇನೋ ಗೋಕುಲದ ಬೆಣ್ಣೆ ಸಾಕಾಗಲಿಲ್ಲವೋ ಹಾಲ್ ಮೊಸರ ಕಡಲೆ ನಾಟಕ ಏತಕ್ಕೆ ನಿನಗೆ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಕ್ಷೀರಾಬ್ಧಿ ಶಯನ. Krishna is lying on the causal ocean of milk and he has ocean of yogurt he owns. With all that, you think he wants your little khichdi you make there, he's waiting for that. It's not the khichdi, it's the bhava, because making khichdi and offering is kriyatmaka or kriya shakti, means action based. But bhavatmaka means the mood with which, the identity with which you are thinking of Krishna, and you're thinking that I want to offer everything I eat to Krishna. I want to offer all my feelings to Krishna. I want to offer my life to Krishna. And that's me. That's my feeling. That's my identity. That's my bhava. We are bhavatmakas. And then I was giving that example of that Brahmana who burnt his finger in the dream when he was making sweet rice in the dream, and he touched the sweet rice and his actual hand got burnt. This is another proof that when we are able to experience that identity beyond the bodily concept and say, I am Krishna's, Krishna is mine, Krishna is in my heart, I belong to Krishna. Then when we have that bhava, that mood, that attitude, the more we have that, kriya will follow naturally. Then naturally you will do things as the devotee of Krishna. Then you will have things as a devotee of Krishna. But usually we work opposite. We think first I need to do, first I need to have, then I will be. So in Bhagavatam, it's divided into the Jnana Shakti, the Kriya Shakti, and the Dravya Shakti. Jnana Shakti is that bhava aspect, the bhavatmaka aspect of I am not this body. I'm an eternal spirit soul. I'm a spark of Krishna. I'm part and parcel of Krishna. I belong to Krishna. Krishna loves me. And I am developing my love for Krishna. Krishna loves me regardless of my character defects and my flaws. And then it's easier to get out of the bodily concept of life. Otherwise, we are thinking, oh, Krishna doesn't love me. If I don't do this, if I don't cook properly today, Krishna won't love me. If I am not nice to my husband, Krishna won't love me. And so we are living in that fear. But bodily concept out means thinking, well, I'm already Krishna's. From there, when we work with that identity, then that our mood of I am Krishna's will reverberate, and it will be like a ripple effect. I'm Krishna's, and therefore I do things that Krishna likes, and I will have things that Krishna likes. There's a comment. Okay, there's a verse in the chat box. Deepthi is sending a verse. Somebody can read it, please?
Shall I continue?
Can you read the comment in the chat box?
Yeah. Lord Shri Krishna said, O mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by suitable practice and by attachment.
Detachment.
Yeah, sorry, from detachment. Yeah. Sorry, very sorry.
That would be a huge edit. Let's all get attached. By suitable practice and attachment, let's overcome the Maya. Yeah, please continue, Rajshri, if you like to.
Yeah, Mata, just before she can continue, I just had this question regarding the explanation that you were saying, right? You said like Krishna is bhavagrahi Janardhan, right? He accepts her bhav. So when he's accepting the bhav also, right? Whatever we are trying to do, it should not be whimsical, correct? It should be according to the scriptures, and then we are putting our bhava according to the scriptures. Then he'll accept it. But if we think is Baba Guriti Janardhan and then we're doing something whimsical and then Krishna will accept, that is not correct. Is that right?
It depends on what you're talking about. I mean, whimsically, if we want to just go in the middle of the day, pluck flowers and offer to the Lord, that's okay. I mean, it depends. I think, I don't know what you have in mind.
Maybe she is addressing Sahajya.
Okay. Okay. In other words, when I say bhavatmaka, the mood with which a devotee approaches Krishna, meaning the qualities, we may offer 1,000 kinds of flowers a day, okay? But if I'm unable to wish well for the devotees, other devotees, it means that I have not understood Krishna's connection with the jivas. I've not understood the Mamaivamsho, Jiva Loke. I've not understood that we all belong to Krishna. So the flowers itself is kriyatmaka, like plucking flowers, giving flowers to Krishna is kriyatmaka. But behind every flower, if I'm cultivating the mood of acceptance, I'm cultivating the mood of wishing well, I'm cultivating the mood of positivity, and I'm approaching Krishna, and I'm actually giving him these flowers. What is your intention when you're offering the flower? Usually the Indian conditioning, I mean, I'll be very frank here. Indian conditioning is that we have some fear or some mundane, what do you call it? Karmakanda type of expectation. If I do this, then, Krishna will take care of my family. He will bless me. There's some sort of materialistic, we want some materialistic result. So that's the bhava in this context. But if I'm going there and I'm just like, Krishna, I just love to decorate you. I love to see you look so beautiful. And I love to decorate you with fragrant flowers, And what is my bhava? My bhava is just, I love to see you. I love to decorate you. So I'm saying, definitely what you're saying is we have to follow Guru Sadhu Shastra. We cannot just go on doing anything and say, Krishna will see my mood, or Krishna will accept my mood, like that. But yes, Krishna will accept our mood if the mood is right. Speaking about scriptures, I don't know why this example is coming to my mind. It may or may not be relevant in this context. So please use your discrimination. Now, when Krishna had a headache, he was in he was in Dwarka, and he had a headache. And then Narad Muni came to assist him. And he said, how can we cure your headache? So Krishna said, I need the dust of the feet from my devotees. Then it will cure me. Then Narad Muni had to go all 3 worlds, 3 universes, up and down, and all the lokas and all the queen's palaces, and so many devotees of Krishna, right? So Narada went up and down everywhere to try to find Krishna's devotee who was willing to give the dust from the feet of Krishna, right? But in everybody's mind, there was the fear, oh, Krishna is God. How can I give my foot dust? Come on, no, I cannot. So they were all stopped either with on reverence or with fear or with material expectation that, oh my God, I'll implicate my karma, how can I do such a sinful thing, such as, I mean, can you imagine if we have to say, put our feet on deity or something? We will never do that, because like, no way. I will not do it. And in this case, this is a point where Krishna's will was very clear. Krishna needed the dust from the feet of the devotees. And so, I mean, when we didn't know the story, what happened in the end, if we were asked, probably we would also say, no, I will not also give. But then Krishna put all these devotees to test. Then Narad Muni arrived in Vrindavan and he was just even finishing the statement. He just said Krishna has a headache and he needs the dust. And already by the time he finished the sentence, the gopis had already pulled out their feet and put all the dust possible in that plate. And they said, please don't waste our time here talking about this and that. Take this and go rush to give to Krishna. And he was just flabbergasted. He was just completely stunned with their bhava, with their mood of devotion. And that's why Krishna says, I cannot pay back, even one, Krishna says, I can never pay back your debts, he says to the gopis and to Srimati Radharani. Because he got purchased by their bhava, he got purchased by their mood of love and surrender, that they were even willing to go beyond the boundaries and the limitations and the rules and the regulations. So, when Prabhupada says again and again, Mahaprabhu also gave that example. If a woman is married and she's in love with a lover, she'll very nicely take care of the husband and keep the husband peaceful so she can go and meet her lover. Okay, this example is often given. And we may say, why is that kind of an act? It's an adulterous thing. Why is that glorified? It's not that thing is glorified at all. That thing is condemned, but the bhava of it is glorified in context of Krishna. The bhava, imagine a married woman, she's thinking of her lover all the time. It means the desire to be with the lover is uncontrollable. The hankering is so deep, that the affection is so much that she may have a good husband, everything may be good at home. She's still thinking of that lover. So that bhava of being attracted to Krishna beyond rules and boundaries and regulations and limitations and everything. And we're willing to go above and beyond for Krishna, because that's what a married woman would do. And traditionally, such a risk to do that. She can lose literally everything by doing that. So when we can take that risk to not worry about the rules and the regulations and the boundaries and what people will say, or how will I feel, what if I feel uncomfortable if I commit to morning program every day? What if I feel uncomfortable to come to this Bhagavatam class? Maybe I shouldn't commit. Instead of that, we say, no, I want to do this for Krishna. I want to do this because I like Krishna. So the bhava means the mood behind our actions. So that's what means we are bhavatmakas. Yes, we
Motivation.
wake up. Motivation, intention, attitude, feeling, emotion, all these things can be categorized in the bhava. I mean, okay, I don't know, again, this example is relevant or not, but it's just coming to my head and I feel to say this, okay? I was speaking with Savitri Mataji about these points. The other day when there was nobody else, it was just me, and we spoke about this point. And then we were talking about different examples, and she was speaking about her husband's departure. After her husband left, she was in a dilemma about her clothes. Like, usually Bengali women, widows, they wear white. Shave their head and wear white. That's the tradition, right? That's the rule, right? That's the boundary, right? That's how a widow is supposed to behave, right? All those things like that. Okay. And then she was explaining to me how she wasn't feeling to do that. She just didn't feel it. And then she was wanting to dress as she was dressing before, because she had the bhava that I'm Krishna's. I'm dressing for Krishna. I remembered my grandmother, same thing. She also didn't stop wearing bindi or stop wearing silk sari or color sari. My grandmother, she didn't shave up. She continued wearing sari. She continued wearing bindi. She continued wearing silk saris and diamond necklaces and rubies. And she continued doing that. And similar thing with Savitri Mataji. And she said, I had to settle somewhere in the middle. I didn't want to do the full-blown rules of how a widow is supposed to dress. I also didn't want to just continue the way I used to dress, completely. But it took her some time because her Guru Maharaj was not there. Guru Maharaj was also gone. So she didn't know how to make that decision. But the bhava with which she made the decision, the mood and the attitude is, I am Krishna's, and I don't want to go in front of Krishna like a piteous woman, in the white sari and looking so like pathetic. And I didn't want to be that woman, because that's not her mood. Her mood is, I dress for Krishna, I belong to Krishna, and I want to dress beautifully. I want to wear nice saris. I want to wear colorful saris. So this really touched me, this point that when we do it for Krishna, you may say, no, but the rule is like this, whose rule is like that? Who created that rule? And who says that's what Krishna wants for you to do it? I mean, I'm challenging here certain social norms, okay? But this is beyond when we think for Krishna. And you may say, no, you're just using Krishna as an excuse, you want to wear nice saris, so you're just, no, it's not like that. Krishna can see through our intentions. Krishna can see through our actions to see where we are coming from. Gautya Prabhu often says, where are you coming from? What is your place of, intention? What's your intention? And if the intention is, I really want to please Krishna, and it's coming from the deepest part of us, then you think Krishna doesn't see that? You think Krishna doesn't give us the strength to face the consequences? Recently, I had some difficult relationship, and then I thought, oh my God, if I don't deal like surrendered way with this person, certain practical things will be difficult in my life to get help with certain house related things and whatever. And I thought, but in my feeling, I was just very strongly feeling, no, I want to sacrifice this for Krishna because this is not being beneficial for me, this interaction. And then I realized that Krishna gives you the strength. And from somewhere, this immense strength came to me. And I'm like, Krishna is with me. If this person doesn't want to help, it's fine. And for the rest of my life, Krishna is with me. This person could die of a heart attack any moment. Why am I depending on this person and crawling and bowing down before somebody that I don't need to? There was a huge transformation. And I owe this transformation and this strength that came to this Bhagavatam study. Even yesterday's class, I owe my ability to be an instrument yesterday for that 1 hour in the Bhagavatam class. I owe to this Bhagavatam study that we're doing, because of that intense connection with Shastra and trying to apply that Shastra in my life. I sat there for a second thinking, oh my God, this verse is completely different. And I didn't even have time to get my head around the verse. And I'm supposed to speak the class, and the room was filled with 70, 80 people. And I'm like, what am I going to say now? And then I said, we have been discussing, right? About Krishna's will. We've been discussing to let go. And I'm like, okay, Krishna, here I am. I'm yours. Do whatever you want with me. I'm your instrument. And then I owe this Bhagavatam study, first of all, realization. And on the practical level, Krishna also gave knowledge. Whatever we have been studying, I kind of summarized and spoke about what is that bhava, what does it mean to let Krishna in, and why we need to cultivate that mood. And, I just remember whatever we studied, and I just expressed it. So, yeah, it depends. Rules, like Sometimes, yeah, I'm following the rules. I prepared the words they gave me, and then I sit on the Vyasasan and they say, I'm so sorry, I gave you the wrong verse. Please speak on this other verse. It's like, what do I do? I have to just act it like a puppet in Krishna's hands. So sometimes we want to follow rules. It's not that we want to break rules. It's not that we want to hurt people, or it's not that we want to be sahajiyas, just doing whatever comes to our mind. Sometimes certain relationships are difficult. Sometimes certain situations are difficult. We may not be able to follow the way that social norms are. And we just say, Krishna, you know what? I surrender. Just like Arjuna. Was that the right way to kill Karna? I mean, his own biological brother, which he didn't know, but he had to kill him when Karna got off the chariot. He got off the chariot, and great warrior like Arjuna had to break the rules because Krishna wanted it. Of course, Krishna was there telling him, go, do it. So sometimes we do not know. Krishna doesn't follow exactly the rules by the book. That is not the point. The whole point of Bhavatmaka means to go beyond what is in the books. It's to go about Krishna's mood, Krishna's my connection with Krishna also. Do not how do you say, minimize. Do not minimize your self also, yourself in relation to Krishna. So if you're feeling something, do not minimize it. No, it's an actually Savitri Mataji, I was sharing about some questions Taruni had brought up like that, and then she was giving me exactly this point, saying, please tell her that, to not believe in yourself is like an insult to Krishna. I mean, I'm summarizing what she was saying, but this was a point that came up, that sometimes we have an attitude of self-doubt. And it's not good for Krishna consciousness, because Krishna is seated in our heart as Paramatma. We need to believe, especially women, we need to believe in our intuition. We need to respect your feelings also. That because Krishna values your feelings, Krishna will take note of it. I hope that is helpful. I think.
Oh my God, mind-blowing, Mataji. It was so
Just
beautiful.
mind-blowing, Mataji, mind-blowing, whatever you said. Just triggered our heart and mind. Really.
Yeah. I was just thinking, in such a one-dimensional way, because I was just seeing, especially like in the 18th chapter, of how he's saying, everything should be according to the Shastras. And then when you even said the gopis went beyond that, because Krishna's will was clearly stated, like what he wanted was already there, and they were just ready to do what he wanted, because ultimately it was pleasing Krishna beyond the Shastras, beyond everything. They wanted to just please Krishna. So that's the ultimate. So that's how the bhava goes, right? To please Krishna. If that is correct, I think then everything is right.
And they didn't let their overthinking take control and start to think, no, but what if this and that, and they were not using analytical thinking.
Krishna wanted, they just did it.
Not even Krishna wanted. You understand? It was not even Krishna wanted. Krishna is having a headache, and the only way to cure is this, and they don't even care what Krishna is going to think. They just want to. They don't even care what Krishna is going to think or do or what he wants. Okay, I have to say something here which is a little bit on the boundary. Okay, bhavatmakas, right? Bhava, gopi bhava, the mood of the gopis. This is our teaching of Rupa Goswami, right? The bhava of the gopis essentially means they don't think of what Krishna wants. Like Radharani is not thinking what Krishna wants. She is so in love with Krishna that she's doing exactly what her emotions for Krishna, how she feels for Krishna. She wants to fight with Krishna, she fights with Krishna. She, you know what I'm saying? She goes by her bhava. If her bhava is to be upset with Krishna, and therefore it is so pleasing to Krishna, even if the gopis are upset, even if the gopis are picking a fight, it's like the perfection of relationship in that case. Whereas for us, we are so covered by false ego and all the thinking and the overthinking and the selfishness. But in gopis, there is no selfishness. their bhava is completely occupied with I am Krishna's, that they're not thinking if I'm Krishna's, I need to please Krishna, means I have to always be nice to Krishna. I should always be smiling to Krishna. No, it's like so absorbed in the bhava that they don't even care if they're fighting with him, they are punishing him, they are making fun of him, or they're being left away somewhere and Krishna is there with some other gopi. Aslishya va padaratam pinastuma madarshanam marmahatam karotu va yatha tatha vidato. Yatha tatha va vidato. So it's like whether Krishna embraces me, Krishna leaves me, Krishna makes me wait there, Krishna is like whether he's going to crush me, whatever, it doesn't matter. So it's Krishna is angry with me, it doesn't matter. So the point is, doesn't matter. That's the bhavatmaka. We are not, codependency means to think, oh, I have to please Krishna, means I'm thinking Krishna will be pleased only if I do this. The gopis are not controlled by that. They're thinking, oh, Krishna, they're not thinking even in that way. So that's the bhava. It's not just about becoming a puppet that we just want to do whatever we are told. Krishna says, do this, do that, come here at this time and, be nice to me. First of all, Krishna doesn't do that. Okay. Krishna doesn't tell us, be that, do that. But he wants the bhava, means that Kshirabdi Shayana Hariye Ninage Bekaite Gokula da Benne. So it's like Krishna doesn't want, what does he want? He wants the butter that is churned from our heart, which means he wants to churn the emotions that naturally, automatically arise as a result of us. Because, accepting that I'm his, he loves me. Starting from that point, Krishna loves me, I am Krishna's. What emotions come to us? It may be a variety of emotions. It may be a variety of moods and attitudes. He wants that. He doesn't want the sit there as like a slave and do everything I'm telling you. He's not interested in that. He comes to steal the butter from the gopis' houses because he wants that feeling of them becoming irritated and angry and the next minute becoming happy and trying to catch him and run around all Gokula. Hidiya hodare kaige sikka, nodi nakka, bhari dakka, gopi kel ninna maga jara, iva chora, sukumara. So he's so interested to see what emotions will come. So in our cases, my case at least, sometimes the emotions that come up are negative, like fear and anxiety and all that stuff. And I just go to Krishna and say, this is what I'm feeling, my dear Lord. Please take this. Please take this. So he's interested even, this is my huge transformation and realization over the past few years. He is very much interested in my anxiety. He's very much interested in my negative feelings as well. And he has the ability to even take my bhakti through those negative emotions as well. So every day I'm waking up telling Nrsingadev, please take all of me, the good and the bad. Please, I want to give myself fully, completely, not hold back, not try to just become that person who walks very carefully in the rules. The point is more about bhava, attitude. I am Krishna's, Krishna loves me. And oh my God, I'm still struggling, honestly, when Savitri Mataji says, you're Krishna's and Krishna's yours. That Krishna's yours is still a little harder for me, but I'm working on it. But that's the truth. That's the absolute truth. That's the eternal truth. So I am very grateful for all these discussions because it keeps me very absorbed.
Thank you so much, Mataji. This was so brilliant. I would like to probably write down all this. It's so nice to keep remembering what you've spoken today. And is there any way that we can listen to the class that you spoke? If you could share the link.
Yeah, it's with Russian translation, but yes, there is a link. I'll send it.
First, I was just thinking how beyond the scriptures, it was like they wanted to please Krishna. And then you took it even more higher. It was not about just pleasing Krishna. It's just sprouting from their heart. They just want to just do it. It's like instantaneous, their instincts are like that. Like, wow, like super wow.
when our instincts become so aligned in such a way that we are automatically doing Krishna's will, not just in a way that you have to do the thing, but in a way that even amuses Krishna and makes Krishna fall in love with you. It makes Krishna want to come to your house. I'm thinking of Akrura yesterday. It makes Krishna want to run after you, because he has so many saints and sages and so many people who are very submissive, surrendered, like fearful, that whole God is that Virat Rupa, or the God is this universal form, God is, that fear-based thing. Okay, that's okay. But he's very much interested in Sakya. He's very much interested in a little coward boy tricking Krishna and say, open your mouth, I'll put a laddu. And Krishna opens his mouth, and then the Gopa boy puts a flower in Krishna's mouth, So this is Bhavatmaka. This is the Bhava. So beautiful, Krishna is yours. He belongs to us. So we have to go beyond this conditioning we have, thinking pleasing means that we don't irritate anybody or agitate anybody, or pleasing means that everything is like still and there is no ripples and there is no waves, everything has to be. That's a codependency. It's not Bhavatmaka. It's not about pleasing Krishna. Such a thin line between being codependent and being surrendered to Krishna. Being surrendered to Krishna means Savitri Mataji is instilling this in me, to have faith in myself, to believe in myself. This is something she's teaching me about. And it's very important to have faith in my feelings, in my bhava, in my emotions, in not my thoughts. And then the ability to discriminate between my thoughts and between my feeling for Krishna. Yeah, it's an art. It's a beautiful art. Let's see something in the
When
chat
you're
box.
speaking about codependency, right? You said that we are not codependent with Krishna, but I was just, I don't know why this particular thought was coming, that Krishna is telling, in every action, depend on me. And then when you depend on me, I will protect you. And then, you be conscious of me, and then you do your work. So like that, you'll always be conscious of me. So in the beginning, he's telling, the first part of it is like, depend on me. So that time I was just reflecting, and you were also saying like codependency. So I thought, we should not be codependent on anybody on the earth, like in the material plane, but we should be our relation with Krishna is like codependency. So I think you're saying something different, right? That we're not even codependent with Krishna.
I'll give you an example of Sankirtan, okay? I'll give you an example of Prabhupada. Look at Prabhupada. Was he surrendered and dependent on Krishna?
Yes.
Absolutely. But did he do certain things which no other human being did?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So there was the effort from Krishna's side. He decided to choose to do some things, and he planned, he worked hard, he started several books that he didn't finish, he started several projects that he didn't finish. Prabhupada did many things, okay? So we may look at Prabhupada's life and say, he wanted to please Krishna, but there was also his mood, his bhava, his desires to want to establish temples, to want to do the gurukuls, to do this and that. He was an instrument in the Lord's hands, but he was also a personality of his own. He called people fools and rascals. And he did several things, okay? He had his individuality. So the point I'm saying for us, what is relevant, at least for me, what has been relevant, while in the process of depending on Krishna, it's not that I stopped desiring, I stopped thinking about myself, developing myself as an individual, and I'm just thinking like some lifeless, impersonal machine that Krishna will turn on and off. He is not interested in that. He wants the Kshirabdi Shayana Hariye Ninage Bekaiteno Gokula the Benne. He wants the Gokula's butter, because he wants to churn the emotions out of me. Not the emotions in the sense like surrender all the emotions, in the sense of give up all that, give up everything and just be passive. No, he wants us to be individuals with all our personality traits and all our desires and all our warts and all. So you know what I'm saying? Like maintaining that individuality, looking into your heart and seeing, how do I like to decorate my altar? We're not just thinking, "Arey, whatever, whatever will be, it will be, No, we are thinking, sitting there and reading some book and getting this inspiration. Oh my God, there is such a beautiful, Pachaya Tottilalu, like I'm thinking of there's a song about the gopis are putting Krishna in a cradle made from gemstones. And I'm thinking, I want a cradle for my Gopal. I want to make it in this way. That's what Krishna is interested. Okay, so he is interested in what will come up for him, who we will preach to, how we will preach, how we will use our willpower in his service. Self-will is different from willpower.
Got it, Mataji. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Does it make sense? This
Yes.
self-will and willpower, to use willpower to fix our minds to achieve something for Krishna. I want to distribute these many books. I want to help and make programs for these many people. No, we are not just lifeless people. We are individuals, and Krishna is interested in how you are going to feel for Krishna, what you're going to say about Krishna, what I'm going to say. He's interested in each of our perspectives based on our bhava. And that's why he can embrace you as a friend. He can embrace you as a husband. He can embrace you as a child. He can embrace you as a master. He can embrace you in every single rasa, every mellow. And that's meditation is very powerful. That's why he's bhava. We are bhavatmakas, and he's bhavagrahi Janardana. He reciprocates according to our bhava. If you feel Krishna is my friend, he will reciprocate as a friend. Because I said in the class yesterday also, his arms are always open for us. Always open. And Savitri Mataji was telling me, Krishna is always available to interact with you in any of the way you want, any rasa you want. He's available. He's that available person that we are looking for. Nobody else of this world is available like Krishna. Krishna is available. I mean, my God, I was just completely swept off my feet when I heard her saying that. Because this is my problem in my life, in my personal relationship, sometimes that people are not available the way I want them to be. I really struggled a lot with that. I'm like, Krishna is available. Oh my God, he's sitting in my heart. How much more available somebody can be. He's amazing, Krishna is amazing. He loves me. Can you imagine? Like, Krishna loves you the way you are. We think, no, if I give better classes, Krishna will love me more. If more people will come to my classes, Krishna will love me more. If I distribute more books, if I'm a better mother, Krishna will love me more. If I can be more disciplined as a mother, Krishna will love me more. We're not saying these things, but that's exactly what we're believing in the deep subconscious. We got to work on these things. And we can't work on these things just with one class. It's a process. It's through these meetings, through this revealing our minds in confidence, through exploring where we are stuck in believing that Krishna loves us. It's a process. It's not a product. It's a process. So hang in there. Let's keep helping each other. Let's keep reminding each other that Krishna loves us.
Beautiful, Mataji. Thank you so much. And just with you, every class is like the perspective keeps expanding and expanding. It's just beautiful.
We need women Sangha. That's what I'm realizing. Yesterday, I had a beautiful program with Mataji's. And it was like so beautiful. I mean, in my house. And I really like associating with women. I learned so much. The perspective, as you said, it expands, and I'm able to see things, because men, they focus a little too much on Vairagya aspect and not so much focused on the Bhava aspect. They're not developing that. And women, we are experts at the Bhava aspect. Look at Kunti Devi's prayers. Look at Pingala's prayers. Look at so many of the prayers. Draupadi's mood. It's so much about Bhava, and which is glorified by Prabhupada, by everyone. So we need each other, Thank you for making me, so I feel so grateful to be with all of you and study Bhagavatam. It's transforming my life, and It's orienting me. Okay, so I'm going to the morning program now. Devotees will come now, and I'm going to start my program. Thank you so much for your association, and see you this evening for those of you in India. Tomorrow for you, we're speaking about emotional maturity, and I'm going to bring about this Baba aspect because I got some notes that I didn't talk in the class. So I want to speak about this emotions, how we can emotionally connect to Krishna in a favorable way this afternoon. Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Mataji.